Markets are unpredictable, volatile, complex, but your trading journey doesn't have to be. Hola Prime TV is now live. Every trading day, join top coaches as they break down real-time setups, key levels, live trades across Forex, futures, and crypto. From Tokyo's early momentum, to London's open surge, to New York's high volatility action. We decode every move live. Get sharp analysis, clear strategies, and insights that actually make sense. And yeah, we don't just break down charts. We crack a few smiles too. Only on Hola Prime TV. This is more than content. This is infotainment and beyond.
All right, welcome back to Quiet Markets, everyone. Let's get you up to speed on what's been shaking the trees in the financial world, because yesterday was one of those days where the market looked at its calendar, saw a bunch of Fed speakers, and decided to have a serious case of the Wednesdays. The main story was a definite shift in mood, a classic risk-off shuffle that sent investors scurrying back into the arms of the U.S. dollar. The dollar index climbed about 0.2%, poking its head above the pillows to test the 98 level for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. It does seem that everyone's getting a little bit jittery, like they're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and that shoe is named Friday's PCE inflation data. But before we get to that main course, we have to deal with today's helping of U.S. GDP, which is like the appetizer that could either whet your appetite or give you indigestion. This dollar strength, of course, put the squeeze on the major pairs. The euro took a particular tumble, falling back towards the low end of its recent range and fumbling its attempt to grab the 1.18 handle. It was a rough day for the eurozone, with German business sentiment, as measured by the IFO survey, slumping to a 4-month low. To make matters worse, the French prime minister started floating the idea of tax hikes on top earners and firms, which is basically the economic equivalent of suggesting a group vacation to a place with really bad weather. Not exactly a confidence booster. So the Euro-USD pair did slump about 0.2% itself, settling near 1.1738. And over in the UK, the pound sterling decided to join the pity party, sliding to 3-week lows near the 1.345 level against the dollar. It's been a rough couple sessions for the cable after it got a hard technical rejection from the 1.37 level earlier in the week. The UK data docket is pretty empty this week, leaving the pound as a passenger in the currency car. And right now, the dollar is driving like it's late for a very important date. Bank of England policymaker Megan Green did add to the cautious tone, suggesting that global central banks need to get used to supply shocks being the new normal, which is a fancy way of saying, buckle up, buttercup, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Now let's talk about the yen, which apparently decided to take the day off. The USD JPY pair surged back above its 200-day moving average, testing the 148.8 level, and the yen was weakened by some softer than expected Japanese PMI data. And let's be honest, traders are just utterly confused by the Bank of Japan. The BOJ meeting minutes from July revealed a central bank that's still scraping and clawing for any excuse to keep rates at rock bottom, with some members even arguing that they should hike rates soon because they're below neutral. It's like a committee trying to decide whether to wear parkas or swimsuits. There's no consensus, and everyone looks a little silly. All this uncertainty, coupled with political jitters ahead of a leadership election in Japan, is keeping the yen on the back foot. The whole risk-off vibe naturally had consequences in the commodity world. Gold, after thundering to a new record high near the $3,800 level earlier this week, snapped its 3-day winning streak and fell back around $3,730 per troy ounce. It seems that rising U.S. Treasury yields and a firmer dollar were just enough to tempt some profit takers to cash in on those shiny gains. The underlying stresses are still there. The U.S. government is barreling towards another potential shutdown, and trade tensions are simmering. So this pullback might just Might just be gold catching its breath before its next dramatic performance. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. One asset that seemed to enjoy the drama was crude oil. West Texas Intermediate extended its gains for a second day, climbing over 1.5% to touch $64.55 per barrel. The rally was fueled by a surprise draw in U.S. crude inventories. Instead of building as expected, stocks fell by 0.6 million barrels. And on top of that, geopolitical tensions, they got a fresh injection of caffeine after President Trump at the UN General Assembly warned Europe to halt Russian energy imports or face new U.S. tariffs. Nothing says market mover like combining inventory data with a side of geopolitical saber rattling. The Aussie dollar softened a bit against the greenback, hovering around the 0.6585 level. And interestingly, there was some conflicting news from down under. On one hand, Australia's monthly CPI inflation ticked up to 3%, which is the upper end of the RBA's target band. This hotter data prompted traders to dramatically pare back bets on an imminent rate cut from the Reserve Bank of Australia. So the Aussie got some domestic support, but it just couldn't compete with the broader strength of the US dollar, which was being propped up by the cautious course from the Fed. And speaking of the Fed, that was the real headline act yesterday. We heard from a parade of policymakers, and while they all sing from the same hymn book, they're definitely harmonizing different parts. Fed Chair Powell set the tone early in the week, reinstating that the Fed needs to balance the competing risks of high inflation and a weakening job market. He called policy well-positioned, which is Fed speak for we're not making any sudden moves. But then on Wednesday, San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly said further rate adjustments will likely be needed, framing the recent cut as insurance on the labor market. But Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee struck a more cautious note, warning against a series of cuts and explicitly pointing to Trump's trade policies as a reason for his reluctance. It's like the Fed is a car with three drivers, all gently touching the steering wheel at once. We're moving, but the path is a little wobbly. So that was yesterday, a classic case of the markets digesting a lot of talk and positioning for what's to come. So today, Thursday, the action continues, and it's all about the data. We've got a packed schedule that includes the final reading of the U.S. Second quarter GDP report, which is expected to hold steady at a robust 3.3%. We'll also get durable goods orders and the usual weekly jobless claims. But the real star of the show, the grand finale for the week, will definitely be tomorrow's Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, the PCE, which, as always, is the Fed's preferred inflation gauge. That number will be scrutinized more intensely than a celebrity's social media post after a scandal. So traders are basically just trying to stay out of trouble until then. Should be another interesting day. Last thing on the timings of these reports. So at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay, New York City time, we do have the Swiss National Bank with their policy rate decision coming out. Expected to keep it the same at 0%, straight up zero. And then 30 minutes later will be their press conference for that. And then at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the GDP report coming out quarter over quarter for the U.S. Again, they're expected to keep that the same at 3.3%. Yeah. And then the durable goods orders and the final GDP price index, all that's coming out at 8:30. And then that should be it. As far as Friday goes, yeah, that PCE report's coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. And again, they are projected to drop by 0.1% from 0.3 to 0.2% on the index. So it's about all I got for now. We'll get back to the show. Got Coach Tony. We'll check out some charts and see what you guys have. Back to you guys. Hey, what's going on, Coach?
Coach Dagger.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hump day. It's a happy
Can you?
hump day. Beautiful
Yeah, I
day.
know.
Doing all right.
I know.
Hump day for us, anyway.
I hear you.
For a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
while
yeah.
longer.
I hear you. Same
Yeah.
thing over here. Same thing over here. Was it a good trading day for you? Were you on? You were on
Mm,
earlier today, right?
yeah, I had one small loss this morning, and just got in on a euro pound short. It's kind of a tester trade,
Nice.
just playing around with a couple of different time frames,
Yeah.
something a little bit different. So yeah, I just threw a small tiny trade on for that. See
There
if I
you
can
go.
test my theory. But yeah, as far as
It's
as far
really
as
all
like
that
my main
matters.
alerts, yeah, as far as my main alerts, I don't really have anything super close. Keeping a little bit of an eye on gold. Me and Paul have been trading a lot of gold in the evening session like this lately,
Yeah, yeah,
so it seems to be working out fairly well. Seems to be our favorite pair
yeah.
right
We
now.
actually had a gold trade late in the day today. And, just, I mean, obviously, like you said, it was just some people profit taking all day today. It was just like down and to the right. We were waiting for that market to just
Yeah,
find some sort of footing. And it actually didn't even
yeah.
happen until I want to say it was after the 2:30 close and probably closer to like 3:30, almost 4 o'clock. It finally found
Mm-hmm.
some ground and just into the equity close just ended up finding some footing and coming back a little bit. And myself and Paul, we both made some trades on the Hola Prime accounts and the cash accounts and made a couple of bucks there. And that was just based off of again, low to high fib levels, that type of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going to step on the tracks per per se and just try to
Mm-hmm.
randomly just get involved. But yeah, I mean, it was good. It was a good day. We'll see if we can find another trade maybe in gold this evening. No,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of went into a very small 5 minute demand zone, but I don't know that I want to take it.
yeah,
I feel like it's a little too high up on the curve. I might need a little bit more of a retracement, I think. Just
yeah,
trying to look to
yeah,
see
yeah,
here. I mean, if we could get a retracement back to the 2 o'clock, yeah, 2 central low, that'd be okay.
yeah,
Looks like we
yeah,
can.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if we'll get it. Might be too far, but yeah, EuroCAD took a small trade on it this morning. Didn't quite work out the way I thought it might. That's about it. Still up pretty good on the week as a whole.
Yeah, that's good.
We were having the
That's good. What was
conversation.
the why did the trade not work out? Did you do like a post mortem on it a little bit?
Yeah. So it was. Let me see here. So it met my fundamental requirements. It gave me a bullish
Hmm.
score. Let's go take a look. Back end, if you don't mind. Yeah, let's just flip on over. We'll do a post mortem real quick. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
uh, EuroCAD. Let me go find it real quick. I got so many items on here. EuroCAD. There you are. There you are. All right, let's see where I'm at here. Um, I may have to look over here where I actually treated it. Oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, on this one, just going back out to my 1 hour, I believe it was, or 30 minute. I guess it was 30 minute, 15 minute. Gosh, I get all my time frames
There you
confused
go.
at times.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
5 minute. I'm
yeah,
sorry, it was a 5 minute zone. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it was a 5 minute zone. I just didn't really give it a lot of room. I mean, I was kind of looking at this demand down here. Price had shot up really well. So I liked the momentum. And the other thing I liked about it was the slower momentum coming back down. But
yeah.
I looked at the whole move instead of really focusing on the fact that as of about 3 a.m. my time, it was starting to drop harder. So I think the momentum just gathered a little too fast for it to actually shape up. I think I would have felt
Hmm.
more comfortable if the volume would have come into the demand zone at this rate rather than this rate. So I think that was part of the
Gotcha.
challenge
Yeah.
because by that point the momentum had gotten pretty close to the momentum of the uptrend itself out of that zone. So yeah, you can see it. It just kind of wicked me in here. Got a little bit of a push with a little bit of a volume boost. and I really liked the wick underneath that 5-minute candle, and it looked pretty good on even on a 1 minute as well. So this was definitely a scalpy type trade. Yeah, so I ended up waiting for a little bit of a close above the 13 EMA. And then, yeah, it went up for a little bit, but just turned around and came back down, shot right through. But yeah, I feel like it might have been ultimately that momentum shift from about this point onward. It just got too strong. And then not only that, we did have that IFO, that German release that came out, the German IFO business climate account. So that did come out negative for the euro. So I think just in the short term, that negative report just won out over the overall bullishness, right? I mean, I always say I like to look at everything as a whole, but this is something that I'm personally working to get better on. Is I got to keep in mind that on these smaller time frames, that one report is the only thing that matters, at least for a little while. So the volume picked up, and then I just ultimately chewed through the zone. So yeah, but yeah, I guess that would be the best post-mortem I can think of. Yeah, lesson learned. Just even on a yellow folder event, right? Because it was a yellow folder event. So even on something like that, I just got to be careful on the smaller time frames.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's one of those things where, you look at the economic calendar, or you look at the news that's coming up in a certain market, and you just say to yourself, this one, it's probably not going to be, a big problem until it is, right? It's just like the market doesn't care about a certain print until it suddenly cares. And that's like one of the weirdest things that happens. It's one of those headlines that you just can't even account for, really. So, yeah, I mean, it is tough. It is tough for sure. But there's nothing really that you can do about it.
Yeah, and in hindsight, the other thing is I was starting to get a negative divergence on a 1 hour from the higher highs to the lower highs on the RSI. So yeah, in hindsight, that was probably part of it. You can that's what I love so much about RSI is you can kind of get this little heads up on the momentum shifts or potential momentum shifts, right? It's never guaranteed. But, sure. But I know exactly what happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's really good. Let me ask you this. Is it, so before, I mean, even like a yellow folder news event, I know obviously it can change things, sure, like we just said, but sometimes it just doesn't, or it does start to push the market down into your direction. Do you ever put on like half a position, or do you actually leg into your positions, like, multiple entries?
Not very much. I'll do it sometimes. Like I did it one time. I think I did it. Yeah, I did it last week. I did it last week because I got kind of a second chance zone after I got into the initial higher time frame zone. So after I got into that, I got into a new zone that formed within that zone. So I kind of just added to it because of that. Or maybe that was the week before.
All right. So, but largely, like you have like one opportunity, you see the setup, and then you just put the trade on.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times I'll even when price is coming down to a demand. Let's do this. Yeah, say that's my demand zone. So a lot of times, if price comes down to my demand, if I'm feeling if I'm feeling a little iffy on it, when it comes down to the zone, then I'll kind of wait for a little bit of a prove it to me moment. So let's break this structure, close, and then come back. Maybe find a little demand in there if possible, or just take the stab from there. Yeah, that's something that's another like a confirmation entry that I like to use at times if I'm just kind of like on the fence, if I can form a smaller time frame demand. And that's in fact what I did on that trade 2 weeks ago that worked out. But I just hit this higher time frame demand, got to break a structure over this point here. And then just ultimately got in down here on this zone. So it's just like, I mean, you'll miss trades at times because this price may just continue going, right? And as far as keeping you safe, it may just come right through, and then you've missed out on a loss. Sure. So there's, it's like any method, there's give or take, no matter what you do. Limit entry, confirmation entry, 50% entry. So, But yeah, that's ultimately what I'll do if I'm just not 100%. Like maybe it's meeting all my rules, but something in my gut's just saying, I don't know. I mean, usually when my gut tells me that, I'll just avoid it altogether. But if I really feel strongly about it, then I'll at least make it prove
Sure.
itself to me, or give me a bullish engulfing candle with or a candle with a wick underneath. Give me 2 or 3 times the expanded range candle on the volume relative to the previous candles. Kind of a
Yep.
combination of that. Kind of what I'll
Yeah.
do, but 1,001 ways to get into a trade.
Yeah, I know, and that's always a tough thing. Is that's or am I going to change it because of this one loss on this trade? No, it
Right.
just didn't work out that time. So it's like, you got your strategy, you
Yeah.
stick to it, and
Yeah.
manage the risk and wait for the next one. Yeah, I mean it's pretty good. So I mean you're up on the week. I mean that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Less
That's
can be
right.
said for others. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's awesome. That's really good. Yeah, we did it. We had a pretty good day, throughout the entire trading day on the futures coach side. Just about everybody was in the green. We had a couple of laggards, but it was all right. Um, all in all, I mean, I did a majority of my trades like in the first 30 minutes of the trading day, and then it was just like hit your profit levels, and then I'm gone, just gone for the day, right? And those are like the best trading days for me, where it's kind of just over really early, and then I can kind of just provide some market commentary and a little bit of color throughout the rest of the day. So all in all, it
Yep.
was a good day. It's a pretty good day. Pretty good
Good
day,
deal.
I must say so.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
and again, I mean, I'm not sure if you heard, but I mean, Hola Prime doing that 70% off sale, that was big. I mean, it even enticed me to pick up some one step challenge accounts. 70% off. I
Ah.
think it was in everybody's email there. I know the code for the future side is FUT70. I forget what it was for the Forex side, but I mean, literally, it's 70% off. It's literally like you get like 3 accounts for the price of one. Like just an
Wow.
awesome sale that's going on right now. So
Heck yeah. Well,
actually,
shoot, I may be checking it out after this
uh,
stream.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
100%. Actually, okay, so what is it? Oh, okay. You guys got 60% off, flat 60% off of Forex challenges from 5 grand to 100K. And then even actually the direct accounts for Forex, 20% off. So Hola 60 is for the 60% off Forex challenge accounts. 60% off.
Nice.
I'm not sure. You guys have like 1 step, 2 step challenge accounts, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that the same for
Yeah.
the direct? I wonder. A discount?
Um, no. So it's 20% off for the
Actual step.
direct, and for everybody that's watching. So it's 60% off for the Forex challenges, and that code is HOLA60. And then for the direct Forex accounts, any account size, it's flat 20% off, and that's HOLA20. So and
Nice.
that's for the Forex side. And then futures, it's 70% off. So FUT70. And then for the direct accounts, again, 20% off FUT20. So yeah, I mean, I picked up 4 challenge accounts because it's like, it's
Yeah.
literally one of the best deals that we've had. So
Well, yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, why
I've
not?
been
Right?
telling,
Try to pass them and then
I've been
get
telling
some
Coach
payments.
Paul every quiet market session that you're not on. I need to get one. I need to get a futures account. Just
Mm-hmm.
makes too much sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Might
Yep. And this is your chance, right?
be just time to get on there and get it.
Yeah,
All right.
100%. And this is the other thing is that if you're getting a futures account, go for either the 150K account or the 200. Okay,
Yeah.
that gives you enough buffer to trade at least even up to like 3 contracts conservatively. As long as your stops aren't insane. But
Mhm.
yeah, for sure. So the 150 or the 200, and it's like
Yeah.
$120 per account, or even less, maybe. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Just go check it out. Go check it out,
Oh, for
guys.
sure. I mean, I'm Forex through and through, but I got to admit, watching you guys on stream and having the volume the access to volume. That just looks like so much
Yeah.
fun to just get in there and just play around with it. Just,
I
I mean,
mean,
the cool thing about supply and
yeah.
demand and a lot of these methods of trading, it carries over. It's just a matter of learning the nuances of the
Yeah.
market and see
Yeah.
how the reports, economic reports, affect those as well. So
Yeah. I mean, and it's one of those things, like you literally just watch the live, the futures takeoff session. I mean, myself, Daryl, Sam, Paul, I think we do a pretty good job. Like everything is covered. There's really no, there's no crazy events that we don't know are going to take place. We know when someone's speaking, Trump, someone from the Fed, we yell it out. And then of course, like the 8:30, the 10 a.m., the 9:45 data dumps, we're always yelling it out. 11 a.m. Eastern time, London's closing, you yell it out. Like it's just all communication. And then of course you have people like Sam and Daryl who are reading like the level 2 stuff and the footprint of these futures trades that are going through the pipe. So it's just pretty easy to figure out what's going on. So and then the range extension, right? Yeah, of course. Like you get into like the trade and like there's so much range extension. It's just like, okay, like I hit my profit target, but it's still going. Like, whatever. So
that's pretty
good.
I
mean, I think we do a pretty good job, and we got it going. Yeah. So 17K on the P&L for myself today, and that was across 5 accounts. Obviously, so like you copy trade 2 or 3, and then you take care of 2 others, and like boom, then you're done. So
you got an account for every day.
Get on with us.
There you go.
Yeah, literally. I know. Blow it on Monday, blow it on Tuesday. I'll be around to survive 5 trading days, right?
Yeah. Well, like I know you guys, like I was thinking about that as well, and just in Forex, because like a lot of us have 2 or 3 different ways of trading, so it's nice to be able to have an account for each method, just so you can keep everything separate.
Yes. Yeah.
Fair to say.
That's exactly what I do with I do it with one account. So one account I do go to the higher time frames, and it has I take less contracts so that I can weather at least some sort of drawdown, because my risk reward is a little bit wider on it. So and it's it's a challenge account, so it's one of those things where you still have to be mindful of what the heck you're actually trading. Like unlike a cash account where you can, however much you can lose. So you still got to be aware of the daily rules, stuff like that. So it's good. But that's something that I do as well, for sure, is just like different strategy on a different account. And also with all the back end data that comes from Project X, you can see obviously all the metrics of the trades that you're taking, how long you're in, obviously the P&Ls from day to day, month to month, week to week, all that type of stuff. So who knows, you might end up surprising yourself. Yep,
I know. And then I'll never get any sleep, because then I'll want to stay up for the whole session with you guys, and then I'll sleep for like 2 hours from like 3 to 5.
I know. It's so tough. Well, maybe come on, man. We'll bring you over to the light. We'll bring you into the light. You can quit all that other stuff and just start trading the day session.
Hazardous to your health.
Yeah, I know. Literally. Oh my God. We talk about that enough. I mean, it is ridiculous. Like, I don't know how long we can do this for, like 10 years in this thing. And it's like, we got to start getting serious here. Get more payouts, invest that money somewhere else, and go.
Yep, that's it. That's the whole point of making it. The card.
Yeah, we'll just buy lottery tickets. Yeah.
We learned the skill to make money the right way, only to abuse it by playing chance.
Only to blow it. Literally, yeah. It's great.
Oh wow. Well, so just wanted to take a quick look here at the currency surprise meter. Canada dollar is the new trailer in futility. It's only beat expectations on 13% of its releases. So it's not doing the greatest. And as funny as this is to say, out of all the 8 majors, the dollar is actually the strongest at 44%.
Wow.
The global economic surprise meter is at a 32%. That's the lowest I've seen it in quite a while. Actually, ever, as long as I've had this algorithm. So
Perfect.
If you need a better case for gold and silver than that, then I don't know what to say. Which obviously is why the hell it's been flying upwards of late. So it seems like it flies, takes a little break, flies, takes a little break. But and also it's no surprise that the dollar-Canada dollar currency pair is actually the top setup. So you got the strongest currency, and I laugh just saying that at only at 44%. But that's just the reality. So dollar CAD, very top of my list, very bullish, score of a 12. So
nice.
The only thing that went against this bullish idea was that the bankers, between the bankers, the bankers, favored the Canada dollar over the U.S. dollar. I believe, what was that? That is it. Let me just go double check the CO2 report real quick. So Canada, they increased by 1.28% on their longs, and then the dollar, they decreased by 10%. So the dollar had a big sell-off up until last Tuesday, just to be clear. It's obviously only accurate as of last Tuesday till the prior Tuesday, but and that was, of course, before the Fed decision came out. So it's lagging information, lagging indicator, if you will. But looking at it on a week-to-week basis, it's just one thing I like to add in. But everything else is either blue or a few neutral scores. That's about it. So, as far as what I made money on yesterday, pound New Zealand, had a good trade on that. Aussie New Zealand. I actually got into this Aussie New Zealand first, and then the pound New Zealand, it followed suit probably 45 minutes later. I was actually more interested in the pound New Zealand, but just, at the end of the day, Aussie New Zealand hit my demand zone first. So got into it with a small position because I wanted to see if I could get pound New Zealand to drop. So it finally did, and I put in a regular position on it. And then Aussie New Zealand, I left it I just left the take profit in place so that it could just hit it. And that way I can just focus on the pound New Zealand. So I ended up trailing this one up and up. So, pretty good trade on that. And then, like I said, me and Paul last night, we had a gold trade that we profited on. But as far as today goes, just 0 for 1 right now. And then also I did get into the euro pound trade that I was just talking about. So euro, 33%. Pound is a little bit stronger. So that definitely fits that diagram. Now, it's not on my top setups. It was on it this morning when I put the alert on, but it has since fallen off to like a -4. But at the end of the day, I always say, this right here is a trade plan. Just simply match up a strong currency with a weak currency and go. But it's kind of hard when they're all weak. So, I'm definitely going to focus on gold right now because it's going to be a little bit, nicer of a picture, even though it's not necessarily on the top setups at the moment. U.S. oil, though, it's up on the list. And of note, the only index on there is the FTSE. So the FTSE actually jumped on for a bearish score. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye on, especially at Forex Fire in the morning. See if I can't find a hitch to throw my wagon on and sink the boat a little bit. But let's see here. So as far as gold goes, did bounce into a nice demand zone earlier today, of course, while I was sleeping. And I told myself last night and this morning that I was going to be putting some limit orders on because I've been missing so many zone trades lately while I'm sleeping. I'll usually have like 1 or 2 hit that would be a loss, and then like 1 or 2 hit that would still be in profit to where I can maintain it whenever I wake up, manage the trade.
Yeah.
And I just don't like doing limit orders anymore. I used to love it, but I don't like doing it. I like to, be honest, I like to micromanage it, right? I mean, I don't like, I'm not trying to stop losses up and down, left and right and all that, but I just like to be able to see when I get that signal. The reversal signal, the break of structure, the volume, the engulfing candles, all that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I've got to, my challenge to myself is I need to start trusting my own zones. See, I always say trust but verify, but it's also costing me money on trades I'm missing out on. So yeah, I'm going to have to play around with that. That'll be something to focus on for the rest of the week. But anyway, having said all that, I just totally slipped my mind to put that limit order on down here on this. What was that? 15? I guess it was a 5 minute. So it's a 5 minute zone inside of I think a 4 hour. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 hour. Yeah. I mean, it looks beautiful now in hindsight.
Yeah, I know. But then what would you be saying to yourself if it didn't work out? You'd be like, oh, goodness. It's like one of those, the 5 minute zone within the 4 hour. It's like, is it the best one to trade? I mean, I don't know.
Probably not.
Is it the best one to trade when you're trading like gold? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, whatever the higher zone is, I'll just put my stop loss under it just to incorporate the whole higher time frame zone.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm trying to, get into something like this while I'm not on my chart. But yeah, I mean, just hit perfect. So, yep, I'm going to write that down this time. Limit order, because I will take a nap before Forex fire. Limit orders, Tiger, with a couple exclamation points, 3 exclamation points actually. I'm gonna circle it. I'm gonna put an arrow pointing towards it with a smiley face. There, I'll be able to see that.
There. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I was keeping a little eye on that zone, but just didn't really feel too great about it. So yeah, negative divergence, or I should say divergence period. So probably just going to ignore that at this point.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit of a supply ahead, might be reversing things potentially. So yeah, let's see here, 15 minute. I mean, the obvious answer is the demand that's closest to the origin of the move itself. I'll just keep an eye on that. Get rid of all this junk over here. Too much crap in my way. Got a couple of zones here, but I do have some gaps underneath it. So I feel like they would want to be filling some gaps, going for that closest zone. I'm just going to put an alert down here. See what happens. See what happens if we get a retracement down there. I'll actually just throw that out through the end of Forex fire. 7:15 a.m. There we go. Got an alert on gold. What else have I got for you? Let me go look at my list here. Yeah, Nikkei. Or not Nikkei. FTSE. I was wanting to look at FTSE. This one hasn't been on my list for quite a while. It's just been kind of neutral throughout all this junk here. But got a daily zone up top, which is the yellow. Got a smaller time frame. Was that 4 hour, I think? Ooh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I got an alert here. So I definitely like this potential short setup. Got a daily with a 4 hour. This is my all-time favorite confluence. All-time favorite confluence right here. Now the potential downfall is the trend is up. So I would definitely be probably fighting an uptrend. If I look at it obviously on a higher time frame. So it's kind of one of those things where you get all the fundamentals flipping to the south, flipping bearish. I may end up honestly just waiting for so there's a lower high. I may end up waiting for a lower low on the daily on this. Let's just prove yourself. Let's close below the low. And then if it comes all the way up there, then I might be interested in a short. So definitely not going to just willy-nilly hop in that short. I need it to prove itself. Lower high. I need a lower low for retracement.
No,
maybe we get another supply zone created in this down leg somewhere. That would be ideal. And that's the kind of momentum I'd like to see. So strong down move, a little bit lazier of an up move, just to show that there are sellers trying to find some asks, and then we can sell it. That's about what I'd like to see right there. Break this low point. Yeah. Yeah, when in doubt, zoom out. For anybody in the chat.
Literally.
It's too easy to get caught up in all the noise on the smaller time frames like this. But when in doubt, zoom out, turn off all your drawings. For me personally, when I need a fresh perspective, Tony, I'll turn off all my drawings, put on just my order blocks, obviously my supply demand zones, and I'll just start at a day chart. Okay, what does my day chart look like? All right, there's demand zones way down here. There's supply zone that we're currently bouncing in, which is what I like. But the problem is, I need to form another low. That's just where I'm at. I mean, I could blindly take a chance since I talk so highly about the confluence of the 4-hour inside of the daily. And I still may take a small stab. I just definitely won't be putting a full position on because I prefer that lower low. Yeah, about all I can say on that one. And you got all this sideways congestion here. Buyers, sellers fighting it out. There's definitely going to be liquidity on both sides here. So, yeah, I'll definitely take a small position on it. But I'd be putting a full position on had it already broken this low. That's kind of the way I see that. Now, NASDAQ was on the bullish list for the last couple of days. It's since fallen off.
Oh, yeah, it should be. Yeah, I know. Yeah, a little give back.
It'll come back for sure. Let's see my drawings here. Daily. We got a little bit of a daily zone here. Do I have that one written up? I do not have that one written up. As always, I put my dailies in daily or higher in a yellow 4-hour. Okay, so that's going to be a smaller time frame demand I got down here. Wow, even smaller. Yeah, I prefer it to be a daily 4-hour, 1-hour. I don't really like to go 15 or 10 or 5, which it looks like I do have this set up as a 5. I guess it is a 5, dang. All the way down here to a 5. So, yeah, I like to kind of live by the rule of 4. You know, if I'm executing a trade on a 4-hour demand or something like that, I want to go up to a daily for my trend. Or if I'm executing on a 15-minute, I want to go up to a 1-hour for trend. If I'm executing on a 1-hour, I like to go to a 4-hour trend. Just kind of follow that, and then another couple time frames up to see where I'm at on the overall curve. So try to maximize out the zones. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think so we did wick into that 1-hour demand I drew up, but again, we kind of at that point formed down lower high, lower low, right? So it's kind of a little bit of a counter trend. If I'm going to counter trend it, I'd prefer to wait for a higher time frame demand. Because obviously,
wait for it to come to you.
Yep. So in that case, just go ahead and throw me an alert down here at the 50% line of the daily, which will be just ahead of the small time frame demand.
Yep.
Yeah. Just scream
Actually,
at me
now that
here.
we're on the NASDAQ, what is your take on like the U.S. economy and some of the indices? Like, you think we're going up? You think we're going down? You think we might just start to falter a little?
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the heat map. That'll definitely help us out with that. I mean, yeah, like I said, as funny as it sounds, I mean, the dollar's not doing the greatest. Now, we did have some good numbers last week, obviously, along with the neutral reading on the interest rate. Yeah, let's just take a look here. Yep. So this is the overall heat map for the recent economic report releases. This is everything you guys see on the economic calendars, whether you use Forex Factory, Rebate King FX, Hola Prime's calendar, et cetera, right? So, and then as always, if you see something in yellow, it's something released within the last 7 calendar days. So we had the good jobless data that came out last week. And then we had also the good retail sales report that came out last week. So these items right here. So this jobless claims, that was the first good jobs data that came out in a while. We're still at 0 for inflation, but the growth perspective, the growth side of the U.S. is looking pretty decent. It's actually not that bad, but it's just being drugged down by inflation and jobs. Because before those good pieces of data, the last good piece that came in was the services PMI way back on September 4th. And then everything since September 4th was all these red items. Now we've had a couple neutral items in there as well. But it's just kind of a wait and see for the dollar right now. Now, it's interesting to see that, again, all the other currencies are well under the dollar, well under the 44%. So I'm definitely not trying to buy the dollar, and as far as like a long-term anything, but it's all about the short-term trades. I mean, it's all about maybe a 4-hour, but like the dollar CAD, I mean, I'll take whatever it gives me. At the end of the day, presently, it is the strongest currency. So dollar CAD is probably the best bet for that. Again, Canada is the weakest. The Swiss franc was the weakest for a while, 17%, but now we got the Canada dollar at 13%. It's just so weird to say that. But yeah, just looking at the dollar, Canada dollar over here. I mean, long term, super long term, I love this area down here with all this liquidity. But okay, so we did break through that zone. We did break through this supply. So we do have another zone. It's currently almost wicked into. Reset this. Can't get rid of my drawing so I can see what's going on here. But yeah, I mean, overall, I don't have any interest in buying anything long term, like for position traders, long term position traders. Yeah, I mean, Coach Richard laid it out perfectly this morning. He was kind of showing the pitchforks and the confluences with pitchforks, and he made the case that he could, as far as the Dixie itself, made the case that it could definitely be retracing, but you look at this thing at a higher time frame, it's an uptrend. It's just having a really deep retracement over the last couple of years. So people always say death of the dollar. Again, when in doubt, zoom out, right? Uptrend. Yes.
Yeah, literally. Death of the dollar in the last year. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, obviously ever since, at this point, it's been almost 3 years. But more recently, though, January. Yeah, this whole year. So just keep in mind, too, guys, I can't remember who showed this chart, but as odd as it is, whenever we have a Republican in president, the dollar itself tends to go down. The stock markets tend to go up. When we have a Democrat in president, the opposite is true. The dollar goes up, the Dixie goes, or the stock market goes down. It's weird when you look at the correlations. I can't remember who showed the chart, but it was just so weird to see that. Like, it showed the years of Republican, Democrat, and it would show the dollar follow that pattern each and every time. It was crazy. And this was over the last 40 years or something like that.
Yeah,
so it's all about policy.
I was going to say, all the way back to probably like Nixon and even people before that, maybe on a lighter note. But I mean, it's all and again, it's coming off the gold standard, the quantitative easing that's happened, since 2002. It's just it is just crazy. But the dollar continues to fluctuate. Obviously, cheaper. What is it? So dollar goes down, and what companies can buy goods cheaper overseas? Is that what it is?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. See, this all twists my brain up. I don't ever really stop.
Yeah, I know. About this. I know. That's where it's the currencies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. We want, it's hard to explain all of it.
Well, you want a stronger dollar for consumers on the domestic front, right? Because then your dollar goes more domestically. But then if you're a business, then you want a cheaper dollar so that you can, I don't know, I think it's against other currencies, go out and either build in other countries or buy products in other countries.
Yeah, make the imports.
Yeah, and import that stuff.
A little more manageable. Yeah. And then lower interest rates to pay less interest on the federal debt.
Yeah,
right? That's another big argument there when you're talking about the bond market. So 100%. At the end of the day, if anybody needs to know any of this stuff, just type it in Chat GPT or DeepSeek. It's surprisingly pretty accurate. But at the end of the day, All the coaches, I think, in Harmony say the same thing. We trade what's in front of us, the price action. We're not,
Yeah. Yep.
we're not economists. I don't want to be an economist because that would just twist my brain. I don't know about you. They get yelled at whether they put something good or
A
bad,
lot.
right?
Yeah.
Like I would not want Jerome Powell's job. There's no way in hell.
Oh
you
my
could
God.
pay
I
me
know. Nope.
Damned if he does,
Absolutely
damned
not.
if he doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hated
Yeah.
by all. It's just so terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't pretend to be on top of the in-depthness of that. I just care about the basic hard data. Is it warm? Is it cool data? Did it meet expectations? Very simple algorithm on that. Award a point to the base currency if it's good. Award a point to the quote currency if it's good, right? And then just kind of play a little basic math because I tell everybody on all my streams, I don't math. I can do basic math, and that's all I need to have. Just take a look at the basic
Heck yeah.
math. And that's why I love so much this report, just because, with all this, as far as the top setups go, I mean, it's just basic, simple math. Hey, where are more of the reports leaning bullish? Which currency is it leaning the most bullish to? Right. So at that point, because this is essentially what the banks are looking at. I mean, they're looking at the GDP, the PPI, all this stuff, the rates. So, yeah, this is the hard work, in my opinion. The trading, the charting, I feel like after digging as deep into this stuff as I have over the last X amount of years, I feel like the charting is actually the easier part. This crap here.
Yeah.
If you had to go through and just figure out, because it's not only you're doing it for one currency in the Forex world, you're having to do it for the other currency too. So you're having to do a double relationship here, right? It's not like oil or
just looking at one.
A lot of the individual features, items that you trade, right? Here you're having to look at two different economies and then find that relationship between two things to trade it. So it can be difficult.
Got to be good. You got to be good at pivot charts, putting two things up against each other. That's for sure. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Pivot tables. There we go. That's what it is.
Yep. It's good stuff though. Let's take a look at here. A couple of my, okay. So I already went over NASI. We already kind of went over gold. Let's go down to a smaller time frame. Yeah, I didn't want to take a trade on that. So I'm glad I didn't. Okay, I got my alert on gold, so we went over that. Get that deleted and out of my way. Just figure I'd take look at a couple of my alerts here. CAD Swiss, so I am still getting a bearish score on it. We had already bounced into 1 hour chart, 1 hour supply, but I was more interested in the confluence, so more interested in the little bit the 30 above. So it almost touched my spot before dropping. So at this point, we'll still keep an eye on it. CAD Swiss. And by the way, anybody in chat, if you have anything you want us to look at, just let us know. Let us know. Michael G says it's 4:30 a.m. here in Nairobi. Right on. Hey, guess what? When I do Forex Fire, I start my Forex Fire at 3 a.m. local. So I'm up early with you. Well, in a different time zones, but pretty early myself. I usually get up about 1:45, jump on the news piece at 2 a.m., usually finish at about 2:20, 2:25. And then, spend that last half hour before the stream just kind of going through my alerts real quick, deleting old ones, adding some new ones. So, I've already put in a little bit of quite the amount of work before the stream even starts at 3 a.m. So, burning the midnight oil. I love it. Philip, 9:30 a.m. here in the Philippines. Welcome. Now, you weren't part of that typhoon, were you, Phillips? I know Hong Kong was getting that typhoon. I think you guys.
Oh, the worst one of the year, typhoon. Right? Worst one so far?
There were two typhoons going side by side, like within a few hundred miles of each other. So I feel like
I couldn't imagine just like living in a place like that.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I think one of them went through the Philippines. So let us know. Hopefully everything's good down here. No sleep narrator. Tony, you get You get 50% smarter when you put your glasses on, he says.
Yep. Yep. Again, Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger. Yes, sir.
Yep. That's it. We have to come up with a graphic for that.
Yep.
Oh, bravo, Tom. Yeah, if you're on here at 3 a.m., yeah, probably a few drinks were had.
I was gonna
right?
say, just getting back in from a long night. Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. So yeah, if y'all have anything you want us to check out, just let us know. But as far as I'm concerned, I'll just go through a few of my alerts. Tony, if you see anything or anything to jump on, just holla.
Yeah, 100%.
So Bitcoin was on the list for a short while. Over the last 24 hours, it has since dropped back off to neutral. Now it's kind of diddling in the middle if you look at it on a higher time frame. Just right there, chilling in the red, chilling in the retail zone. So I don't know if I want to give this daily zone a whole lot of credence because of that. But I'm still going to keep an eye on it because, well, maybe not now that it fell off, because it was on my bullish list, and that was the first time it's been on the bullish side with a 5 or higher score for several weeks. So that was really the only reason I even cared about it, since it was in the middle of the curve. But now that it's fallen off, I may just ignore this. But nevertheless, I do have a 15-minute demand I was keeping an eye on down here. Kind of broke a couple high points here. Pretty good volume coming, or pretty good momentum coming out. It did get a little bit lazy after it broke that first high. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be a prove it to me trade. Bullish engulfing, 2-3 times volume on the VSA candles. It's going to be definitely something like that. If I take it. Let's see, silver. I kind of drew this fun little diagram earlier because it looked to me like it's trying to go up and form a little bit of an upside down cup. The old cup and handle pattern, right? So if that were to be the case, obviously you've got a daily demand there. Daily demand, got a 4-hour demand right in the middle of it. Nice little acceleration gap forming right after. Don't necessarily like this little bit of hesitation right here. I would have preferred it to have expanded range candles at least up through this area, but it did just kind of fall short for about 8 hours. So probably we'll be careful on this as far as the risk goes. But yeah, so this is why I drew this way. Let's hit my demand. Let's come up and then look for a break of structure. Maybe I can find a smaller demand on the retouch. And again, this is another prove it trade. Prove it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was silver, or Zag nuts as we call it. Zag USD. Zag nuts. Here we go. Zag nuts. Right. Hey, you, come here. Beetlejuice. Remember that? Did you watch that?
Yep.
As a kid?
Yep. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yep.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. One of the greatest movies ever. And the new one. Have you seen the new one?
No, I didn't see the new one. I feel like if I see the new
this
one, then it's gonna ruin. It's just gonna ruin it. I don't know. Did you see it?
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I like it a lot. I don't think it ruined it at all.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Good.
Yeah,
the cup and handle. It's always one of those things that it takes forever, and hopefully it sets up the right way. But who knows? I mean, so much can happen over the time frame that it takes for the cup and handle to play out.
Yeah, and honestly, the whole reason I even drew that up, because I'm not really I don't typically look at those crazy funky patterns and the cup and handles and really channels. I mean, I don't really do a lot of that stuff, the pennants, the flags, because ultimately I just care about the zone. Now, if that's forming just above, just below a zone, then yeah, that's all the more reason to pay a little more attention to it, because I know that the retail traders are going to be creating some liquidity. So hopefully they'll drop that liquidity, those stop losses, just ahead of or even inside of the zones I'm looking to trade. So that's if I look at it at all, it's just for that reason, just to see where their liquidity is going. But But yeah, the whole reason I drew it was because I was even considering, seeing if I can get any type of supply to short it on the way to my demand. But yeah, the more I see it, I do have a couple areas that may potentially mess that up.
Demand, yeah.
We got a triple bottom. Maybe seeing for a zone, but yeah, I don't know. I'll probably just ixnay that. I'll just wait. I'll just be patient and wait for the overall move to develop. We already went over the FTSE, dollar yen. So yeah, Coach Michael and Coach Richard got into the dollar yen trade. Well, Richard got in this morning. Michael got in last night, I believe he said. He got a nice 2K runner on that he cashed out pretty close to the end of the stream. Yeah, he had a really good one. And then just in the wake of that gigantic up move, I was just going to see what would happen if and when it came down to this little zone here. It's a little high. It's obviously pretty high, but I really got a couple alerts. Not so, in fact, on this one up here, I'm actually going to color it light green just so I know it's a little sketchy. Anytime I don't feel 100% about a zone, I'll just color it lighter.
You fade it.
Fade it, yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, hopefully you don't see it. Just blend into the background.
There's something sketchy about this. So be aware.
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's a tiptoe in type of trade. This is a cannonball trade. Yeah. Closest to the origin of the overall strong move. So that's why I do that. And also, if it's touched, then let's see. I would still use it as a potential take profit. So I would, I may not take a trade out of it, but if like the fundamental shift to the opposite side and I'm in a trade, well, then I'll still be aware of that as a zone to potentially take profit because it still could potentially push price the other way at the end of the day. So that's the other reason I like to do that. Just make me aware, keep me suspicious of it. But yeah, I think at this point I'd probably be more interested in this deeper retracement as well for our daily. Longer term, though, I'm interested more in this area down here. We got a 4 hour inside of a daily down here. That's long term. That ain't going to be anything in the next probably week or so. Plus, it's overall chopping in the center, diddling, doing a little diddle action.
Yeah,
so probably just going to leave the dollar.
I was going to say there's a lot going on that chart.
Yeah, there really is. Yeah, daily. Yeah, this is just chop city. Now, that's obviously the higher time frame. Pictures look different when you come down a smaller time frame. You can look at this as the main part of the chop zone, with this being the liquidity underneath, right? All these stop losses down here. Well, there's a little bit of a demand there. So, I mean, that's a potential setup, and that's why I have an alert set ultimately. I believe that's a 1 hour, 15. God, I got to start labeling all these. Yeah, down here. So we'll still keep an eye on it. I mean, that was a giant move up, really strong move up. And that was basically formed because of, Tuesday, 1830. Yeah, so basically, I guess you could call it the results. It definitely wasn't the PMI data because those were pretty close to neutral readings on the manufacturing services. You had Chair Powell speak. You had you had Powell speak and you had President Trump speak. So that would have probably been part of the catalyst that pushed the dollar upwards. Did you watch any of that speech, that United Nations speech, Trump speech?
No, and I didn't even catch it. I didn't really even catch the highlights. I was kind of just reading at a couple of things that he was saying, and specifics about like the Russia-Ukraine stuff and how he thinks that they're poised to, I don't know, take back a majority of their land. Just kind of the highlights. Why? What did I miss?
Nothing major. It's always interesting to see how he interacts with world leaders. Like, he doesn't hold any.
I love how he interacts with the world leaders. Yeah. I love how he does that. It's just like,
he doesn't sugarcoat
I
anything.
am the U.S. and whatever I say goes. And what are you guys gonna do about it? And they're all like, oh, this is
Oh,
not how we
okay.
do things over here. It's like, yeah.
I love
So
it. I love it.
unorthodox.
Just don't
Yeah, it's
sugarcoat it.
funny.
I like
Yeah,
the strength part
it
of it.
is funny.
Love him or hate him, he definitely he definitely makes things happen. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
Vicus Reddy says gold. Okay, yeah, we can take another look at gold. FXJ got cooked on gold yesterday. What's up, FXJ? I think let's see here. Hey man, look, it happens. Let's take another look at gold. Let's just do that real quick. So again, here, let me do this. So if you guys are on smaller time frames, I know I said this 1,000 times before. Yeah, when in doubt, zoom out. Right? Definitely the one thing you're not going to want to be doing at all whatsoever is trying to pick a top on this thing. So hopefully, you know, if you're getting stopped out of an order, if it's a long order, that's understandable. It is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it on a short sell, look at all these. So look at this chart like a graveyard, right? You can see where short sellers got buried, right? Every time. Little here, push up. Maybe they got a little bit lucky if they held that here. But then if they didn't get rid of it, look at that. Push up, short, push up, short, push up, short, push up. It's a graveyard. Gold's a graveyard for the short sellers. You're getting hosed. Delusions of grandeur. That's right. 1 hour buyers were dumping. I was on an intraday. Okay, you were a buyer. Yeah. Okay. FXJ, how do you like, what makes you get into a trade? Do you buy off of a support and resistance? Do you buy off a demand zone? Do you look at indicators? Yeah, just let me know. When the Dixie rose. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, just let's see, yesterday, again, that was, you know, whenever Fed Chair Powell speaks, whenever President Trump speaks, you know, it's just a good idea to be aware of that because it's not the greatest idea to trade around that. Anytime somebody opens their mouth and flaps their lips in the administration or the Fed, it's just something to be careful about. I mean, Canada, they had their governor speak as well, Macklem, and then not to mention the PMI data. Now, the PMI data was pretty close to neutral for the dollar, so it really didn't do a ton. But then you got, you had euro and the pound. I mean, they had some pretty dirty data for their currency. The pound especially. Theirs was horrible. Yeah. Euro had mixed results, right? It was a little bit more mixed, but other countries, keep in mind, whenever other countries release their economic reports, that can also have an effect on the dollar, which can have an effect on gold, right? Correlations, looking at currencies that are correlated to gold, right? Correlated to oil. Like Canada is highly correlated to oil. Gold, gold's correlated to the dollar. It's correlated strongly with the dollar. It typically does the reverse of what the dollars do. So just, fundamental things to be thinking about. Maybe study up on it. Just use DeepSeek or use Chat GPT. And this is what I would challenge you to do. Go to yesterday's economic calendar and just copy and paste a picture of the calendar itself. If you try that in DeepSeek, you can do it into ChatGPT as well. Just type that in and copy and paste it. Yesterday's calendar or the whole week's calendar thus far. But I would just worry about yesterday's calendar. Hey, I got into a gold long trade at whatever time. Why did my trade go against me and stop me out? DeepSeek's really good about literally breaking down the details of what the economic calendar results were, and it'll be able to visually see your previous number, the forecast number, the actual number. It parses the data is what it does. So if you do that and then you ask it whatever question you want to ask, hey, why did my 1 hour zone trade lose? Why did my 1 hour time frame trade lose when I bought the market? Why did it go against me and hit my stop loss? You'll be shocked at how cool it is. It can actually parse the data and use AI to actually give you a pretty clear explanation of why that was. Yeah. Correction in the market. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. It shows a high-low level on the 4-hour low. I think it was correction. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, no matter how strong something is, it's going to have to correct, right? It always has to correct because there's always going to be buyers, getting in this area here, for example, right? They're buy. Hey, take a little break, buy. Oh, I want to take my profits. And then you start to get the shorts saying, oh, price is going down. I'm going to short this because it's going to zero, right? But then at some point, you'll get the buyers / the institutions stepping back in saying, nah, too cheap. Let's take this discount, push it up. Process repeats. Buy. A little hesitation. You might have some profit taken. You might have a few shorts coming in there. And then all of a sudden, bam, buy. So then everybody piles on. And then you got profit taking / people that think it's going to the moon now / people that think it's too expensive. It's got to go down. They're shorting. And then all of a sudden the process repeats again. Institutions, big banks, the whales, right? Traders that know a thing or two about a thing or two, they start pushing it back up. Up, profit taking, short step in, institution step in, buy it up. Exactly. Then you get all kinds
mean of reversion
around. Yeah, mean reversion. You get all, and then you'll go through prolonged, sometimes sideways trends like this. And then all of a sudden the banks get bored. They say, let's push price sell. Let's test another level, right? Buy. You get this big ugly candle. Shorts think, oh my gosh, it's going to zero, right? And they might be right here for a little while. But when they start getting to this area, this is where the banks step in yet again, wick through the tops, and take out their stop losses before going in the direction that you thought it was going to go anyway. Shark-infested waters, dog eat dog, cutthroat, all of the superlatives, right? But a lot of it has to do with the data. So, just be aware of those speeches. I don't recommend watching them because you will go out of your mind. You can quite often go to, you'll get bored. You can quite often go to a good source like Financial Juice or like FX Street, and quite often they'll just give you a quick summary. They'll give a summary of. See if I can find an example here. Okay, so I got a great example to give, just to show everybody. Let's see here. Goolsby, where was that speech? Fed Daily. Yeah, so here's a cool thing. I'm going to copy and paste this just to give some concept. Let's do this. Here we go. All right, let's copy. So if you go to like a source like I said, FX Street, quite often after their speeches, okay, they're just going to give a little key summary of it, of literal comments that they made. Okay, each line would represent something different that they said. Right, recession risk very low right now. Inflation, excluding tariffs, roughly 2.4 to 2.5%. So some of the key headlines, the key highlights, right, the important stuff. That way you don't have to sit through a 30-minute or an hour speech. And if they're giving the speech, you definitely do not want to be trading anyway, because you're going to see nothing but an earthquake telemetry machine, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. People getting chopped to pieces, right? So that's one thing I would recommend, right? Just make sure you're aware of those speeches. Maybe you go get the highlighted clip like this after, just to see what they said, to factor into your decisions, factor into your trading, along with the hard data. I'll preach hard data till the day I die.
1,000%.
So anyway, that's Euro New Zealand was another one I was watching. A little high up. This one's not my favorite. Go turn on my order blocks again. Yeah. Daily. Yeah, this is parabolic on a daily. Euro New Zealand, just parabolic. Might want a reversion. There's a daily. Algorithm doesn't catch every single zone, but I do like that. wiki. That's the closest to the origin as far as one with a gap above it. It's definitely another daily that I'd be keeping an eye on. Longer term stuff. So what do I have in the interim? Well, we do have this area that broke this high. So it's part of the reason I did put an alert on a 1 hour demand down here. So that's probably the closest. Now I got one up here. I think that's realistically too expensive up here though. So as always, I'll see what happens when it hits. See if I get a confirmation. Break structure, volume stepping in, something of that nature. Let's see here. Okay, FXJ, I use AI after I noticed he was falling. Yeah, which told me entry stop losses was correct. Asian time it was retraced, but the sellers were in control for a while, but it's still trending. I was in the trade. Okay. Stop the bleeding. Take profit on $118 now. Good. Yeah. So yeah, you were in a trending market. Okay, there you go. And always just something to keep in mind as far as your trend in market. Let's just go back to gold for a second. Okay, yeah. So I see where the trouble came in. So let's see here. So something to always keep in mind on your momentum, right? And I think I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Obviously, it's a strong trend when you got the strong moves. Everybody knows that, right? Well, an easy way to see if there might be a bend at the end, as always, trend is your friend until the bend at the end, right? So the first sign of a potential reversal on here, not a guarantee, but a sign of a potential, is when you have the momentum shift to the downside on a big candle like that. Okay, that red candle right there, right? Because on all of these pullbacks up here, it was just very weak, right? Very weak, right? And then you have the strong expanded range green candles. So then that's to me a sign of the first weakness stepping in, or the sellers trying to take advantage. So you have that big down move, but then rather than having these expanded range candles on this next up move, they start getting slow. They start getting lazy, right? And then obviously we're not breaking a new high, not even this little area right here. So that to me is the first red flag that, this uptrend's probably going to be in trouble. We could potentially see a correction. And then what happens? Then you get a much stronger move down, right? Much stronger move down. So that's just one little trick I like to share. Just always keep in mind, okay, the current leg I'm trying to trade, is the momentum stronger than the more recent opposite direction leg, right? So just keep that in mind, right? You see a big ugly candle like that, and then the next up move is lazy. I don't know if I want to get in a long trade here, right? And then sure enough, the momentum starts.
Obviously, pair that with the lower highs.
Yes, exactly. The lower highs, lower lows as well. Yeah. So that's just something I thought I would just throw out there just for everybody. No sleep narrator.
A little 1 minute masterclass on the momentum trading.
Yeah. This is something I was kind of reviewing over the weekend. Tony, you remember I've been telling you I've been taking like a few hours on the weekend just to look at, different things with supply and demand, but just market structure in general. And this was something I reviewed was momentum. And it's so dang important, and it's so easy to see on a chart. I mean, you got big up move, but now you can start to see it. I mean, I don't want to say easy. I should say simple. Nothing's easy in markets, but it's fairly simple to see when you just kind of train your eyes, right? Sure. Strong up move, that kind of thing. So anyway, thought I would throw that out there. What else have I got here? FTSE, I already went over that. Euro, New Zealand, CAD, Swiss. Okay, so I do have. Okay, I went over that one. Euro, CAD. Daily demand here, which I'm not too interested in yet, unless we break and close above this area here. but the algorithm's already spitting it out. I'm just a little pickier than the algorithm. I want to see it close before I worry about drawing in my candle. But having said that, I still did draw on this 4-hour demand down here. It's a long ways down, but that's ultimately going to be my move on it. Too expensive up here. That's going to be my move. CAD Swiss. Went over that. Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen was on my list for a while, but it fell off. It has tapped into a 4-hour. I think it's neutral. Let me see where that's at. Aussie Yen. +4. Okay. So it's, if anything, it's a bullish vibe, but it is tapping into that 4-hour demand supply. So not too interested in it right now. Again, I got a lower time frame zone way down here, pretty much just 30-minute demand down here. But I'm definitely going to be wary of it since it did hit that supply. So that would definitely be a confirmation entry for me. Just looking at that. Definitely would be confirmation entry. In fact, I better draw in that supply just so I remember it's there. Just so I remember it's there. And getting tapped into. What else I got here? Pound Aussie. This is just kind of a mess right now. So this is one I was a little annoyed with. We were talking about this on Forex Fire this morning. Coach James had asked Coach Michael about this. And he didn't get into the trade because, well, he and I both had the same excuse. And it was a very valid excuse. Because he trades fairly similar time frames to me. I mean, he trades typically the 1 hour. I trade the 1 hour a lot, but I prefer the 4 hour. But anyway, we both missed the trade because this was when both of us were asleep. So looking at this trade, let's see, Monday. So Monday night, so midnight my time. So right after I went to sleep, it bounced into this 1 hour / 15-minute. Let's see. Yeah. And then get up for Forex Fire. I see it's run away from me. This is 3 o'clock a.m., 4, 5, 6. And then it comes up and then it taps the new zone that had formed. And I think I've since, let's move this out of the way. So we had this new zone form. And same thing. Comes up while I'm asleep, taps that new zone and runs off. And by the time I wake up, I realize, 2 days in a row, I missed a zone in the same price.
Missed it. Yeah.
Missed it twice.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens. Well, sometimes you just got to learn, right?
Yeah. So that was one of the other examples that told me, damn it, just get into these limit orders and just put in a small percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Just put in a little.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Just size down and just see if you can manage it. See if it can manage itself. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I used to do them all the time, but you start learning a thing or two about a thing or two, and you just want to micromanage some things. But the reality is, and I remember when I went through my academy, I remember that they tested. So where I went to my academy, there was another office suite underneath it. Some of the alumni went and they created their own firm. So they had like 3 or 4 or 5 guys that rented it out, drove in every day to the office there to do their trades. And they would get on there and just sit there and micromanage, trail stop quite a bit, and watch their trades all day. So, and one of the instructors was comparing it with just his simple limit orders, where they were doing the exact same thing, but he was just doing a simple limit order, setting it out for a 3-to-1 reward risk, not touching it. And sure enough, his limit orders were, on the same trades that they were taking. Limit orders were making more money because you're not trying to see things that aren't there or create something in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to do busy work. I've got to do busy work. I've got to move this around. I've got to move my take profit out. So that's just the reality. It's sometimes we just get in our head.
Yeah. When I was on the institutional desk, one of my old bosses, he used to say, and this is funny because I'll just get to the end kind of quickly. He's like, it's like you don't want to be a barber giving a bad haircut, like, oh, trim a little here, trim a little here, trim a little here, and then the guy that you're working on is bald, right? And there's nothing left to cut. And it's something that you can do for sure with that type of like, oh, trail it here, trail it here. Oh, I think it's running out of steam, so I'll just like, close out my order, and then what? And then it like pulls back a little, and then it continues to run, and it's like, it would have hit your take profit. Like you literally get caught up in the chop. Just instead of losing money, you're not making as much as you could have.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's the same.
That's true.
It's the same stuff.
Yeah. So having said that, I'm definitely going to be getting back into some limit orders, test it out a little bit. Trust my zones. Quit trying to micromanage every damn thing. Yeah.
I hear you.
Yep.
That is awesome.
All right. Let's see here. What else have I got? Pound CAD. All right. Higher time uptrend. Daily uptrend. 4 hour uptrend. 1 hour demand. 1 hour supply. Yeah, I quite like this option. This is a pound CAD. So this one is giving me what is this up to now? Pound CAD. +6. Yeah, bullish score.
Nice.
Really nothing bad against this. Just a lot of half neutral and half blue, half that are favoring the pound over the Canada dollar. So yeah, this is probably going to, honestly, for now, going to be one of my favorite setups. And I kind of already drew it out, but I got a really good risk reward ratio there. So I just would like to see a little bit of manipulation. Maybe this higher up the curve zone can kind of mess with it and get a little manipulation going on, drop in, hit my zone. Oh, that's a 4 hour zone, not a 2 hour.
Nice.
Yeah, 4 hour candle. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. So that's probably going to be one of my favorite setups. If I can get price to come down, it may leak into next week, Monday, Tuesday, but it'll be there nevertheless. Here on New Zealand, I think I went over that up here, didn't I? Yeah, I already went over that one. Dollar CAD, we already touched. Did that hit that higher time frame, that higher zone? Nope. Looks like it missed it by a pipette. A couple pips. Pipettes, yeah. All right. So what I like about this price action, it pushed through and closed on the other side of a higher time frame supply zone. I love that. Hell, there was a daily one too. So that means that somewhere in this leg, we got some pretty good strength. Well, when in doubt, always look at the origin.
Zoom out. Look out.
That too, yeah. Too much drawings on here. Okay, let's see here. So that would, depending on where that candle closes, obviously you got a gap from here to here so far. But if you look down this leg, we got an efficient market, meaning we've got candles that are overlapping candles to the left, all the way up through here, wicks. So that's our first gap. So I feel like that's probably going to be the best spot. Now I've got an alert already set up. So let's see what I drew up here. Got a 4 hour. Now the 4 hour has already been touched. So by definition, I can't technically use that because it's been mitigated. So let's go down to the 1 hour. What have I got here? 30 minutes. Okay. So I'm looking at this 30-minute demand. So that's basically where I'm looking. And I like that. I feel like that's probably going to be the best because if I incorporate that daily, go just put in that daily real quick. And again, I can't really trust the daily yet because price has not yet closed on that candle, but we'll know by 4 o'clock my time tomorrow. Okay, so that's a daily. Let's go back down to that 30-minute. Okay, so the 30-minute is at the bottom of the daily. Okay, so I like that. I really like that. And it pushed through that 4 hour supply and the remnants of that daily supply. So that should mean this should be a pretty strong area right here. Mm-hmm. Pretty strong. That's kind of the way I see that. So that's right up. That's probably 8. Well, that's setup number 1 right here. Because again, dollar CAD is giving me a +12. Very bullish on the top setup score. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite thing at the moment. I need to tidy this up. I got too much going on here. Get that there. And let's get that. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So yeah, I'm going to just play around with my drawing a little bit here. Get that moved a little bit just so I can see. There we go. That's what I want to see. Which, move that over there just so I know it's there. That's it right there. Give me some manipulation in this area. A little bit of a master pattern, a little contraction box with some expansion legs. Yeah, I'd probably prefer to actually have that just a little higher up, though. Something like that. There we go. That's what I want to see. And I really like that the more I look at it. Euro yen. Yeah, too high up. Higher time frame. Yeah, I think we already looked at this one. Diddle in the middle. High on the curve. Yeah, we already went over that because I got a better zone at the bottom. I don't think I like this one as much as some of these others, unless we do get this little drop down into this zone that's under all this chop zone, this chop area. So we'll keep an eye on it. I got my alert set. What else I got here? Did we go over oil? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't do oil yet.
+7. Okay, we did bounce into a daily demand. We got one bounce. We got two from this area here. So at this point, let's see what this leg here, this up leg's got. 4 hours. Okay, we got a zone here that the algorithm is printing, but I don't like it because I don't like it when a candle, like the last down candle, I don't like it when the last down candle doesn't at least come down to meet the range of the leg out candle. That's always been a little suspect. This is perfect though. That's perfect. I want the basing candle to at least be at the bottom of the zone. I don't want it to be that high up. So for me, that negates that area. This looks beautiful though. That looks beautiful. So, I see what I did. So I ended up drawing a box on a smaller time frame. Yeah, I drew it on the 1 hour. So that's what I did. So I have a 4 hour at the bottom, but I have a 1 hour here. So I'm just putting an alert at the top of the 1 hour. I mean, I much like the one at the bottom the best, but in this up candle, it created a 1 hour. So we'll keep an eye on it. But I would probably likely, if I got into oil, I would likely just throw my stop loss under the 4 hour. That's the way I would probably treat that. Yeah, here we go. So 4 hour, 1 hour, and then stop loss below. Actually, if I wanted to be super safe, I could put it under the daily supply, the daily demand. That would add about another 20 cents. 20 cents risk. Shorten the risk reward, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to delete this because I don't like this zone up here. Manipulate. There we go. Something like that. Something like that. Hit the daily, maybe get a little pop. Hit the 1 hour, maybe get a little pop that breaks the structure. And then come back, hit the 4 hour. I'll be happy to limit order at that point. Now I'm asking for a lot, as always, but it's just the best thing is to talk about your grade A setup, right? Grade A setup.
Really, that's it. The best that you can do.
That's it. I mean, but having said that, I'll still keep my alert above the 1 hour just so I can see if I start getting this manipulation. So, but yeah, that would be a nice. That'd be about a nice. Let's incorporate the daily. It'd be about a 60 cent. 60 cent down move. Let's just put it there. 612, 1824. It's going to be at least a 4-to-1, depending on if we get a zone form in this area. So it'll be a pretty good trade. I like that. Get that out of my way. Delete that. Delete that. I don't care about that. All I care about is the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and then the daily. Daily for stop loss. Now, if this were way higher up, I probably wouldn't incorporate the daily. I'd just be putting it, a little further under the 4 hour itself. But since it's that close, again, it's only about another 20 cents. I'll just incorporate that. Incorporate the daily as far as the stop loss goes. So
Yep.
New Zealand Swiss. Daily 4 hour. Had a 4 hour get hit and drop. Have another little 4 hour in this area. I get a lot of boxes on here at times, don't I? 4 hour with a 1 hour inside. So yeah, that's going to be my play. Limp in play here. I originally was paying attention to this box, but prices already made more lower lows. So I think I'm probably going to ixnay that. Pay a little more attention right now to the one in front of me. Something like that. That wouldn't be too horrible, I don't think. We'll call it 10 pips. 10, 20, that's 2 to 1. Yeah, that'll be iffy. I prefer 3 to 1s when I'm doing these types of trades. But I also have to keep in mind the momentum is not looking the greatest. What's that 4 hour? Good volume or good momentum initially, but it's just kind of slowly. It's still down, so yeah, I'll still keep an eye on it. Just not happy that it's only about a 2 to 1. If it was 3 to 1, I'd be a little more happy. But you take what you can get with currency pairs like New Zealand Swiss because they are one of the slowest. Look at this, 29 ATR. So this pair moves 20. Am I looking at? Oh, no, that's not right. No, that is right. Damn. That moves 29 pips a day on average. That's it. That's yuck.
Insanity.
So yeah. So in that case, a 2 to 1 looks actually pretty good. But anyway. Golly, that is a slow son of a gun. Damn. I knew it was slow, but I didn't realize it was under 30. Like Euro pound moves about 40 pips, and I think that's slow as molasses.
Sure.
29.4? Damn. Somebody needs some caffeine. And Swiss yen, not too certain. Okay, 4 hour with a 1 hour. Okay, yeah, that's another one I'll keep an eye on. Looks like I got another. Sometimes I'll be honest, I go kind of overboard with the confluences. I'll literally at times go from 4 hour to 1 hour, 15, 5, and I'll throw every one of the rectangles up. But just confluence, I just like the odds enhancers. I really do. Seems to help a lot. But yeah, sometimes I do think I'm getting a little ridiculous with it. Not even going right.
Yeah.
But you can never be too careful sometimes. So there we go. There we are. There's our Swissy in. I'll take a quick look over here at something off screen. Okay. The dollar Swiss. So this is one that's obviously going to probably be affected quite a bit here at 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, here in about 5 hours because we do again have the Swiss National Bank rate decision coming out where again they are projected keep rates at 0. Is that right? Yeah, double check my work here. Yep. 0. Yep. 3:30 a.m. Boston time, New York time. That's when that'll be out. So that'll be
unbelievable.
30 minutes before our stream starts, but I'll be writing up that's about the time I'll actually be starting to look at the charts because, again, I always start writing my article about 2 a.m. my time.
Yep.
This report is 2:30 a.m. my time. So, yeah, I should be done with my report And that'll be what I do from 2:30 until the start of the show is watch the Swissy and see what it does on against the dollar. So, but yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a nothing burger coming out at straight up zeros, unless they have anything crazy coming out. But definitely not going to be trying to trade. That's for sure. Not initially. Hell no. Got a daily supply up here. Going to be too sketchy. As far as the setups itself, it's pretty well neutral at the moment. Don't really have a fundamental excuse to trade this right now. Dollar Swiss, it's a +3. So -1 on sentiment, -1 on the technicals, +5 on the economic releases. So it's actually getting some pretty good economic reporting for the dollar over the Swiss. Again, the Swiss is only a 17%, I believe, on the economic surprise score to the dollar's 44%, which is currently leading the Big Eight. I still can't get over that. Because it's all changed in the last week, because just last week, the dollar was like the second worst. But yeah, you have 1 week of good U.S. data, and everything else is kind of went kaput, and it's all of a sudden leading. Wild, just wild. Yeah, I mean, I do have a couple zones below, but pretty much probably going to ignore them because, again, that rate decision could probably throw a wrench in everything I have on this chart. Get rid of that, since it would have never have sold that anyway. Yeah, that's too tiny of a zone to worry about. I'll keep an eye on these zones here, but probably going to avoid trading them since that rate decision. Aussie yen. Hit an overhead supply. Got a 4-hour down here. 4-hour demand with a 15 minute thing. Yeah, 15 minute. Yeah, so 15 inside of a 1. So this will be another one I'm still keeping an eye on for a potential buy. It's giving me a +4, technically in the neutral side, but might take a stab at it. Anyway, I think there's going to be better items to trade other than this one, but we'll see. Aussie New Zealand. This is the third highest. So this is a very bullish score of 9. So let's see here. Yeah, so I do have, and this is the one I made some money on the other day. So let's see if we can find something else. Yeah, I ended up buying out of this demand the other day, and I just sold it up in this area. Sold it right at about the supply zone there. Well, that was one of the winners I had, along with the pound New Zealand. Pretty much right here. Duh. Yeah, I got it in this area here and then rolled this one up. Same thing, just sold just ahead of the supply. That was the pound New Zealand. But yeah, looking at the Aussie New Zealand, yeah, this is probably still going to be my favorite little way of seeing it. Just have price come down, dilly-dally sideways, get Coach James' megaphone pattern going up. Now, you know what's fun, and I didn't know this till James pointed this out, but we have a fun little tool at our disposal that I did not know we had. Let me find it real quick. It's called, what the heck? Oh, it's up here. Yeah, disjoint channel. So basically, because I like to see the basing, I like to see the contraction, but then I like to see the expansion legs getting bigger and bigger. So this tool, oops, I messed it up already. So this tool will actually kind of create it for you. Like that. Look at that.
Oh.
It's just kind of a cool way to draw, because you can obviously draw these individually, but you won't get the exact decline as that incline. It's just hard to do. So that actually does it that way to where you can see the megaphone. He calls it the megaphone pattern. I think it's fun, but I just call it expansion legs, right? Because typically, what I like to see is the contraction itself. I usually just draw that up with a blue box. Contraction, and then the expansion with the legs just going higher and lower until it ultimately drops into a demand. That's my favorite that's my favorite trade setup. When I get the price come down, contract, expansion leg, one of those expansion legs finally taps into a demand, and then it's off to the races. That is my all-time favorite trade setup.
Nice.
Because every time it goes up or down a little, it just keeps tapping into that liquidity that was just formed from the previous higher low. Because it's just all this does is confuses the buyers and the sellers. Okay, well, which way are we going? Well, then it finally goes one way or another. Goes down in this instance. Collect the liquidity, and just keeps going higher and lower. I love it. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That is my favorite trading execution method right there. I've had more success with it than any other thing I've ever tried, and I've tried dozens and dozens and dozens of trades, trading
Nice.
style.
Yeah.
So that's it. That is it. But I'm so glad that he told me about this, because I was this whole time just trying to do this, that, and then you come down here and you try to forecast it out, and you just don't always get it the same. It's whatever those dimensions are up, you want to have the exact reciprocal dimensions down. Typically, now it doesn't have to be exact, but I just like that this does it for you in 2 seconds with a couple clicks rather than 4 or 5 clicks. So it's just basically saying, I'm lazy. I like this tool because it saves me about 1 second. 1 second can make or break your trades at times. All right, so I think
it's true. It's true.
Silly as it is. What we got in the chat over here? Okay, what do you see?
Oh, I've been getting active in the chat while you've been going through some of the charts. Here.
Oh, okay. Oh, your TB trades. I can't. I keep forgetting your TBB trades. I'm so used to seeing Coach.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I know.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. I should have known, seeing the little wrench. And then, I think about the last zone I got, pound New Zealand, get that daily 4 hour. Okay, so I need to adjust this, move this up. Let's see here. So I got 4 hour inside of a daily. Okay, perfect. And then what do I have inside of that 4 hour, if anything? I have a 1 hour. All right. So I got a daily, I got a 4 hour, and I got a 1 hour inside all that. I like that. That's what you call getting down to the nitty gritty. So I'm actually going to put my alert. Now, it may very well hit the daily 4 hour and just run off and leave me. But if it'll come a little deeper, at least it'll give me a better reward risk. So that's why I'm okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm okay chancing that. Hell, I've missed so many trades where they've run off and left me anyway. What's another one? But at least if it comes to my zone, at least I would feel comfortable about putting a full position on this trade.
Sure.
Because again, So that's definitely a full position right there. Full position. So I can remember. Full position. There we go. Daily, 4 hour, 1 hour confluence. I freaking love it. I love it. And a big gap, even on the 1 hour. Now, if I want to go even deeper, this is where I get out of my mind at times, go down to the 15. Okay, do I have my 15-minute gap? Yes, I do. Go down to the 5-minute. Do I have my 5-minute gap? Yes, I do. All right, guess what? Pound New Zealand is officially my number one grade A setup. If and when price comes down to touch into my zone. Oh, It doesn't get any more beautiful than that. It doesn't. It doesn't. That's grade AAA quality for me. Let's see. Let me verify my
There you
trend.
go.
Okay. If I want to go even deeper, I can look at the curve. Okay. Probably the best look at the curve on the daily itself. So many ways to weed out a trade. Oh, and it's in the green. And it's in the green of the curve. This is about grade AAAAA. All right. We're not diddling in the middle. We're
Terrific.
buying on the low of the curve. We got an uptrend. We got a daily demand. We got a 4-hour demand. We got a 1-hour demand inside of all that. And we got acceleration gaps coming out of every time frame, including the 5-minute. And we had a volume spike when that zone was formed. This might be my trade of the year. I'll
There it
be
is.
disappointed
Full
if it comes down
port.
and hits the
Full port.
If it comes down and hits the 4-hour and bounces, I'll be so sad. Because technically, I would be breaking my rules if I buy the 4-hour, the proximal line of the 4-hour.
Yeah.
Well, because that's diddling in the middle when I'm looking at the curve, right? That's in the middle. But the 1-hour is in the bottom third. Now, it's right at it, in all fairness. I would essentially be getting in just barely at the bottom of the red, but that's close enough. As long as I'm getting in, and I got a stop loss anywhere in this curve, the bottom third, I'm abiding by my rules. So,
Sure. Yeah.
oh, let me just catch my breath. After looking at this segment.
You're good. You did good here.
And a plus 11 score. Oh! I'll be dreaming about this 2-hour nap I'm about to take. I may not even sleep.
You're going to want to put the trade on. We keep on watching it. No, just set the alerts.
You know what?
Yeah, set the alerts.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my limit order on. I'll put this on. Oh, yeah.
Perfect one, right?
Yep, that's the perfect one to do right there. Okay, so what was that? 2.2856. 2.2. Oh, okay. Now, obviously, GUI trades, it's going to look a little different. All right. See, this is one thing I dislike about going from broker to broker. What looks perfect on one may not look the same on the other. Mm-hmm. September 17th at 1600. Yeah. So here's, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on, which is basically going to be the 50%. Okay, so all right, limit order, stop loss. We'll just put, can't see it real quick. Let's see over here. 2.2809. Yeah, let's see, even all the pricing, everything's different over here. 2.2771. I may adjust this, but I'll at least have it in there. All right. Actually, let's just do this. We'll just throw it. Say 110. We'll just throw it out to 2.31723. Yeah, I'll probably end up adjusting all this, but we'll at least get it in there. I am not missing this trade.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to play out at some point. We'll see.
2.285. Yep. 2.285. Yeah, the reality is I'll probably be adjusting all the parameters, but just getting it in there is all I want right now. And this is one that may not even hit, obviously, during the week, but it'll be there whenever next week or the week after. And again, keep in mind, it's got such a strong bullish rating, it may just keep going up. It may not even sniff this, right? So that's obviously the other part of it.
Yep.
But
no, of course.
Got a limit order in, so we'll let it go. I doubt it's going to drop anytime soon, but we'll see. It just looks so pretty. It just looks so pretty. Everything about it. Yeah. The reality is that's definitely asking a lot of it to drop all the way to the September 17th price point, since it's been up here this whole week at the top third of the curve, right? Okay, that's about all my alerts. How's the chat going over here?
Yeah, it looks like it's doing okay here.
No. Oh, yes. No Sleep Narrator. Definitely book those sessions. That's I just did one for somebody yesterday, and I tell you what, it's amazing what 30 minutes will do when they have direct questions. They had a gentleman out of Sacramento, California, that I was speaking with, and his question to me was, is it possible to make 10 to 15% gains per month? And also, can I use AI bots to he's wanting to get a 100K account. So I said, well, yeah, is it possible? Yeah, absolutely. Is it sustainable? Probably not. So I kind of had to break it down to even the best, trading firms in the world they're typically going for the 15 to 20% per year. So that breaks down about 1.25 to 1.75 per month. And unless you're a Warren Buffett, but even he's up around 2% per month, like overall long-term, 30-year, whatever it is, or 50-year, or however long he's been in the game, average. Yep. So I kind of had to just give him the facts on the numbers themselves, and he understood that. And then I said, yeah, as far as the bots go, yeah, you just have to make sure it's like unique, because if it's like too closely related to some other ones, then I think they make you they send you an email, hey, you need to adjust your parameters or this or that. I said, but what you could do also, because he was a futures trader for a short while, and he'd had a couple accounts with Apex, and he ended up blowing them. So I said, or what you could do is just start watching us. So just check us out. Check out the futures guys if you want to look at the futures side of things. I directed him to you guys, and then, but he sounds like he's more interested in Forex as well. So, basically just kind of gave him the facts, right? Give him the transparency and be like, yeah, it's just, if you're shooting for those numbers, yes, it's possible. The problem is when you lose 2 or 3 trades, you're going to blow your account. So it's just it's good. Yep. You're too high leverage. So, and he had that epiphany. He's like, I get it now. I told him, I said, even the bot traders, like, you still have to have a good fundamental understanding of trading and technical. Like, you might as well just learn it manually. And then once you figure out your algorithm, your own personal algorithm, then that's where you get the bot created. But just keep in mind, it doesn't read an economic calendar, right? It's mechanical, but yeah, you got to be careful with it around all these daily report releases that we have. I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that. They just think it's a magic money creating, money printing press. It's their own personal Federal Reserve Bank, 100%. Right?
Yeah. No, I hear you. No, I really do think that Hola Prime is one of the best, companies out there. I mean, I've been with Apex, and I'm pretty consistent, very consistent, I would say. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get payouts with just about every day. I get them with Hola Prime as well. And I guess it seems as though I get them easier with Hola Prime. Like, Apex is like, I mean, I constantly used to blow accounts, even up to, I finally stopped trading with them like 6 months ago. Because I was just like, dude, I can't even do it. Like, there's so many rules, and like the rules were like constantly changing like over the last 2 years. And I was just like, I can do the trading part, but there was like consistency, and then there was like, some of the trades are like, no, it's null and void because like we think that you were like exhibiting gambling mentality. And I'm like, gambling mentality? Like, I was in there for like 20 minutes. Like, in a long position for 20 minutes. How is that? Like, they throw everything at you. They're like not trying to pay you out, but yeah, I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Hola Prime is one of the best, honestly.
Yeah. No, I need to get on it. I think I'm to the point now to where everything's pretty well settled and uniform and organized to where I can finally start adding that other account. Because I do dislike the fact, because I have a top one trader account for the Forex side. So, but I've got 2 or 3 different things I'm trying to do on one challenge account, and I dislike that. Because kind of like we said earlier, having multiple accounts, break out your strategies over a couple of different, challenge accounts, platforms. It's really what I want to do. So, and for me, it's all about the times or the time frames, because I feel awesome about my daily, my 4-hour confluence, 1-hour confluence. Yeah. But I find myself, if I see a really good one, now that I'm stepping down to the smaller time frames, for example's sake, for Hola Prime, I'm starting to add in some of those smaller time frame trades into there and having some more losses than I normally would, because that's just not 100% my edge. My edge is on the higher time frames. Yeah. So for that reason alone, I'm ready to get something different so that I can stay focused one account on my number one edge, and then go play around with some of these other things I'm playing with that I'm seeing moderate results with, but I just have to fine tune it. Right. As far as the noise.
I gotcha.
Filtering out the noise, filtering out the lower quality zones, things of that nature. But that's the beautiful thing about being able to focus on this all the time and coaching and teaching, because you coach and teach somebody on anything, and you're going to, by default, get way better at what you're doing. Already seeing that. Yeah. It's pretty great.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Shoot, Tony.
Well, right. Yeah, I know. I think that brings us to the end of the session here.
Just had the one trade, which I'm still in. It's pretty well going sideways, the euro pound short. So, again, we'll see what happens, if that wants to go up and tap me out or go down. I mean, I was looking at this. I know where we got to go, but kind of a similar story. Just kind of, I feel like it's trying to round the corner, right? Round the corner to the downside. Yeah. So that's where I ended up stepping in for that short off of 15-minute supply. So we'll see. We'll see and report back tomorrow whenever Quiet Markets is back again.
Yeah.
But with that, Tony, appreciate you keeping the chat busy there while I rambled along.
Yeah, of course. No, of course. I'm always here to help where I can. I mean, I love going through your
Richard says I have the gift of gab. Sometimes I overdo it. Anyway.
It's okay. That's
all right,
the way
y'all.
It should be.
Appreciate it. We'll be back to Forex Fire 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's 5 hours. I'm going to get a quick 2-hour nap, dream for a minute, slobber on myself probably, and then wake up, get some caffeine, and do it all over again. With that, have a great one. See you, Tony.
Sounds good. See ya.
All right.
Hola Prime. Trade with transparency.